you raised the subject of our fourth topic, which is the current funding landscape. Anisa, I'm going to go over to you for a question around the role that effective planning can play, cost-effective approaches to solving for the long term for these kinds of solutions.
Yeah, I mean, I think Leslie teed this up really well. I would say, looking at a lot of the school systems that we work with across the country, the ones who are at the forefront, like Denver, Salt Lake City, Boulder Valley, who I know is on the line, I would say the advocacy from parents and students and faculty sometimes is essential to like nudging the school or pushing them toward adopting resolutions and sort of making commitments. But if a district does not have the staff capacity on board already to act on that commitment, they're going to move a lot slower. So this is one of the things that we noticed several years ago, which is why we've been putting so much time and effort into growing this like professional class of people who work on sustainability and health within school systems, because we know that when, in Salt Lake City's case, for instance, there was a guy working there who's a rock star, but he's been doing sustainability energy work for like a decade. And then students, pushed for this resolution. And all of a sudden he has the backing of the board and he has a budget and he has, but he was ready for that investment because of the work he'd been doing for so long at the district. So even our districts that don't look like they're at the forefront might actually have someone, working on this, plugging away at putting the pieces in place to be ready for, a board commitment or investment. And going to districts that don't have that person, even they can sort of be laying this groundwork, understanding the state of your school facilities sounds like a very obvious thing for districts to do, but many districts don't know the exact condition of their schools. And so when they're presented with a federal funding opportunity, or, when the community decides that they really value this, one aspect of the schools and they want to push for change, the district is caught flat-footed. So they're not ready to know where the investment should go within their system. So that's like step number one, is just understanding, which HVAC systems are in which schools and which ones, need envelope work before an HVAC replacement would be valuable. Like these kinds of things, like a lot of our school systems don't know. So that's the critical missing piece for a lot of our schools in being able to take advantage of funding that might be available. And like I was saying before, there are many school systems that are going to be able to go after this federal funding. Some school systems have state funding that can come their way if they're, ready to get it or are able to apply for it. A lot of districts are on their own with very limited local funding. So those are the districts that we're advocating for at the federal level. But they're going to need to figure out, when they can get funding from their local community, how do they, invest it wisely, and how do they, put it where it's going to make the most difference.